Let's turn to exploring the Shema, discussions on the issues of Trinity, and take some time to work our way through this section, which is actually kind of short. So let me see if I can also stick to the reading material, and it's very self-explanatory. We're in section 5, entitled Who or What is the Holy Spirit? Rabbinic Jewish Thoughts from the Jewish Encyclopedia. All right, let's just pick up our reading right there. These are my own words. This particular section of my Holy Spirit commentary will be quite short, since mainstream Jewish views on this topic itself are quite succinct and to the point. I go on to say, Rabbinic Judaism, which is the branch that identifies itself over and against Messianic Judaism and Evangelical Christianity, they take what I like to identify, and so let me just give you an identification of how I define them and their view on the Holy Spirit. They identify it as a foundational aspect on this question of who or what is the Holy Spirit. Now, when I say foundational, as you're about to hear, from their perspective, well, you know what? I say it in my commentary. I don't even need to add extra words. I actually say foundational, in quotes, because much of their articulated interpretations are rooted in the very scriptures that orthodox, with a small o, Trinitarian Christianity holds to be infallible as well. All right? So follow along with me. Those of you who are Christians, those of you who are Trinitarians, listen to what I have to say. What is more, since our understanding of Trinitarian doctrine, we Trinitarians, comes firstly from the TaNaKH, as it gave rise to the New Testament, right? The Apostolic Scriptures. So first we had the older parts of our Bible, and that lays the foundation. That's why I use the word foundation. As we begin to read through the New Testament, right? You start with the older first and work your way towards the newer. I go on to say that it only makes logical sense that historic Jewish thought should at times closely resemble some of the main points of Christian thought in regards to matters of ontology and pneumatology, or pneumatology, if you want to pronounce the P. I don't usually pronounce the P, but remember, ontology, let me just click on those words for you so you can see. Give me a second. So, ontology is the branch of metaphysics dealing with the nature of being. It's a set of concepts and categories in a subject or area or domain that shows their properties and the relations between them. So when we talk about an ontological discussion of God, we're really having this discussion on what is he made up of, right? How can he be Father, Son, and Holy Spirit? Does he have two natures, right? A human nature and a divine nature? Is he finite and infinite at the same time, right? What about the incarnation, the hypostatic union, and things like that? That's what we mean by ontological or ontology. And when we talk about pneumatology or pneumatology, if you want to pronounce the P, give me a second. I think my screen is being blocked by my avatar. Oops. Let's try that again. There we go. That should be a little better for you. Give me a second. Did it show up? There we go. All right. So the basic dictionary definition. Sorry. Let's try that again. There we go. All right. The basic dictionary definition of pneumatology is the branch of Christian theology concerned with the Holy Spirit. And the name comes from the Greek word for spirit, which is pneuma. All right, so we're talking about Judaism and how mainstream Judaism and orthodox Judaism actually have their beliefs on the Holy Spirit rooted in the part of the Bible that most Christians would call the Old Testament. So I say, to be sure, the oft-proclaimed one God of the Jews is, in point of fact, the very same exclusive one God of the Christians. So that's the starting point. If you're going to have a discussion with a religious Jew, you have to keep in mind that from a literature perspective, they're going to find a lot of their definitions rooted in the Bible. Now, of course, I know they're going to bring in rabbinic writings, sayings from the Talmud and other mystical Jewish writings and things like that. But there's going to be a healthy dose of Bible in there is the point I'm trying to make. All right. In other words, the God that they claim to serve is the same God that we Christians claim to serve. It's not technically a different God. Like if we were having a discussion with a Muslim, then the God that they claim to serve, Allah, is in fact a different God than the God of the Christians and the Jews. Despite what they're going to tell you that it's the same God, it really isn't the same God. It's a different God. But not so with Judaism. For the most part, it's the same God.